What's going on, everyone? You're back with Jono for another quick math lesson. Today we're going to learn how to factorize non-monic quadratics. So we've gotten really good at our skills for factorizing the easy kind, okay? Like this one here where we've got x squared plus 12x plus 20. We know that we're looking for two factors of 20, so two numbers that multiply to give this, and those factors have to also add to give 12. So for this one, pretty quickly, we can see this is going to be 10 and 2. Once we've got those two down, we can straight away go to x plus 10 and x plus 2. But there are some steps in the middle there that can really help out when these get a little bit more difficult. So the next level up is we've got a non-monic, or a number in front of that x squared. The process for this is exactly the same. There's just a couple of tricks that are going to help us get to our numbers a little bit easier. So from that first example, we're looking for a number that multiplies to give the last number. But instead of this time looking for a number that multiplies to give 2, we have to find a number that multiplies to the last number times by the first number. So in this example, we're looking for a number that multiplies to give 6, or 3 times 2, and a number that pluses together to give 5. That is the biggest difference in between these ones and the ones previous. So we can see here that we're going to have 3 and 2. 3 and 2. So these 3 and 2 are replacements for that 5x. So we've got to rewrite our quadratic equation, subbing these two things in. The big mistake that my students made is because they've times this 3 with the last number, they think they can jump to x squared plus 3x plus 2x plus 2. This is not what we're able to jump to. Just because we've used that 3 doesn't mean we can just get rid of it. So what you do have to write down is 3x squared. Okay? When we throw in that 3x and 2x, please try to put them in a kind of pair that makes sense. So for this one, I think that the 3x makes more sense for our next factorization step. So this is 3x squared plus 3x plus 2x plus 2. And then we can factorize from here. Because they're in our two pairs, we're going to factorize this first one and factorize this second one at the same time. So 3x squared plus 3x, the common factor is 3x, and that leaves x plus 1 left over. Then when we factorize our second one, 2x plus 2, we've got plus 2 is the common factor, and x plus 1 is left over. We do have one more step. The leftovers are put into brackets together, so this becomes 3x plus 2, and then we rewrite x plus 1 because it multiplies with both terms. This here is our final answer. So if you have been used to just skipping to this step with our monic quadratics, that is fine, but this middle step here of rewriting out the equation with those two factors we find is really important. We're just going to do one more example to see that it works with our negative numbers as well. So instead of finding a number that multiplies to minus 3, we're finding a number that multiplies to 8 times minus 3, or minus 24. And we've got to also make sure that these two numbers plus together to give negative 2. The factors of 24 here are going to be 6 and 4, with, as this is negative, the larger number has to be the negative one. So our two numbers here are minus 6 and 4. Okay, so we've got to rewrite out this equation, remembering that that 8x squared is still there, and we've got to put them into kind of pairs that make sense. I think it makes more sense for the 4 to go with the 8 and the 6 to go with the 3, so that's how I'm going to write it out. So this is going to be 8x squared plus 4x minus 6x minus 3. If you do it the other way around, if you don't care about that, the factorization will still work. It just might be a tiny bit more kind of straining. So again, we're going to factorize both these terms at the same time in pairs. So we've got two pairs and we have to factorize them both. The common factor between 8x squared and 4x is 4x. So 4x comes out, we're left with 2x plus 1. And then the common factor between minus 6x and minus 3 is negative 3, and we are left there with 2x plus 1. Remember that our brackets should always be the same. So if they're not, you might have made a mistake taking out one of the negatives in the second term. We just have to write the leftovers together in their own brackets, 4x minus 3, and then our 2x plus 1 again. So that there is our final answer. So it's not too difficult. The skills are exactly the same. The big mistake here is just rushing, okay? People will forget to write out this second step. If you do that, I guarantee you, you're gonna find it pretty easy because none of the maths is that much more difficult than what we've been doing before. Thanks very much, guys, and I'll see you later.